Go to your seat.
Okay.
Austin. Okay, then she said you could. Okay. Now you should have your crayon boxes up. We don't have time to organize crayon boxes. Just make sure everything that belongs in your crayon box is in there. Here we go.
Go ahead and get your pencil out because we're going to make this story. Started a new book. Yes, we're going to do this story map together, okay? What's the first thing you do? No, we're not going to be singing right now. We did that earlier. Alright, so there's our story map. So our focusing question for today is how does Irene respond to the powerful force of the wind? And the question that we're going to be talking about and answering is what is happening in Brave Irene? We're going to organize our story. So when we organize the text, we can use our story map to help us figure out and separate what all is going on in our story. So in our story map, we'll have our characters, the setting, the problem, the response to the problem, and on the back is our resolution. So, we did this with, what was our last book? The Guest, Owl in the Wind, I believe, was the one that we did this with. Maybe it was Gilberto in the Wind. It was one of those, so we know how to do this, okay? So, thinking back on our story, Brave Irene, I want you to turn and talk with your partner about what characters were in Brave Irene. Talk about the characters that were in Brave Irene. Here's some of them. Aiden, you can turn and talk to Wesley. Trevor, come and join Dakota and Asher. Well, actually, what were some of the characters in Brave Irene? Here's some of them. Back to our story. Little girl, what's her name? Irene. Go ahead and pull your chair up over by Alright, waterfall. So, if you have a character in our story that you remembered, go ahead and raise your hand. Ellie, who was one of the characters in our story? Irene, which is this little girl right here. Remember, she was the one that was carrying the dress to the Duchess. Oh, you can see that. She was carrying the dress to the Duchess. So we have Irene as one of our characters. So we can write her name in the characters box. Do we have any other characters that were in our story? Landon, who was another character that was in our story? Yeah, the Duchess. You can say that the Duchess was one of the characters because she popped up. And remember, the Duchess is a step down from the princess. Who else? Braxton, who else was a character? Take a look. Who might this be? The mom. Do we remember her name? Her name is Miss Bobbin. She's the one that sewed the dress. And remember, she was sick, so she couldn't go and deliver the dress to the Duchess. We're going to write Miss Bobbin because that's her name. Yeah. Zoom in on it. There you go. Can you see that better? I don't know. I'm going to turn it up. There's Aspen. It's okay. Look, we've got Irene, the Duchess, Miss Bobbin. Are there any other characters in our story that you might think about? Jeanette, what do you think? The wind, yeah. Does everybody agree that the wind might be a character? Yeah, we'll see in our story here. Let me find the page. Here, I'm going to cover this up real quick so you can see this. In our story here, the wind is talking just like in Gilberto and the Wind. The wind acted like a character, and in The Guest, when we read Owl at Home, the wind kind of acted as a character. Winter acted as a character. Remember, it's personified. Personification means to give human qualities to an animal or an object. But here it says, go, ho, oh, the wind yodeled. Can the wind actually yodel? No. Huh? Kind of like screaming a little bit. But see, the wind here is yodeling. The wind is talking. Here it says, go home, the wind squalled. So that's kind of giving human qualities to something that's not necessarily alive. So we can definitely say that the wind is a character. So we can write the wind. So we've got Irene, the Duchess, Miss Bobbin, and the wind. Yes?
What about winter? Because it looks like it's winter.
Yeah, but here it's specifically talking more so about the wind instead of winter. Whereas in The Guest with Owl at Home, it kind of talks more about the winter instead of the wind. Alright, so what's the setting of our story? Where does the story mainly take place at, Ellie? Everywhere. Well, where is she at?
Outside.
She's outside. So we could say outside. Where were some other places that she went to? Lily, where were some other places? Huh? Yeah, that's called the palace. The palace is kind of like a castle. So, outside and the palace. And remember, Irene was able to go inside of the palace. I need you to sit down, babe. And how about at the beginning of the book? Sorry, that's why I told you to sit down. We got to keep our bottom in our chair, okay? Where else did the story take place? Mason?
Home.
At her home. So we can put home. These little dots that I'm drawing right here at the beginning of our word, those are called bullet points. I'm doing that so that way you can see that it's not all one big old sentence or one big old jumbled word. It's multiple words, okay? Now, let's speed that up a little bit. What was the problem in our story? What happened? She was delivering a dress. What happened? Kason, what happened?
That the dress flew out of the box and the wind opened the box and made the dress fly.
Yeah, the wind knocked the box open, right? See, it says, I'll just show you the picture, but it says, the wind wrestled her for the package, walloped it, twisted it, shook it, snatched at it. But Irene wouldn't yield. It's my mother's work, she screamed. Then, oh, whoa! The box was wrenched from her mitten grasp and sent bumbling along in the snow. And then here, let me zoom this out so you can see the whole thing. Then here we can see that she pounced and took hold, but the ill-tempered wind ripped the box open. The ball gown flounced out and went waltzing through the powdered air with tissue paper attendants. Irene clung to the empty box and watched the beautiful gown disappear. So yeah, the problem was that the wind decided it wanted to rip the box out of Irene's hand, and the wind decided to take the dress out of the box. So what we can write is the wind, we'll write the wind opened the box,
The wind
opened the box, and took the dress.
Oh, that's a
The
lot.
wind opened the box and took the dress. And we can also say lost it.
Is that E or an E? In
E. The wind opened the box and took the dress. We can put the lost the dress. Now I want to see some good handwriting.
this is my best handwriting I've ever done.
Who else just came back in? Was it just y'all two that just came back in?
And
Yeah. Okay. Just try to catch up as much as you can, okay? Worry about Landon. Okay, how come you haven't done that one?
I want to see you writing.
Write quickly. I'm going to give you just a few minutes to write. That's the main problem in our story. Some other problems that we had was that Irene twisted her ankle and she couldn't hardly walk, and that her mom was sick and her mom couldn't deliver the dress. So she had to get Irene to do it. I'm looking to see some good handwriting and some of those boxes filled out. That's not a J, that's called a semicolon. It's to break up two separate thoughts. Those are two separate thoughts, but I put them together and I put a semicolon. I know it looks like a J, but it's a dot with a comma. Is what it is. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm hearing a whole lot of talking and singing. Right now is not the time to be talking or singing. We're not drowning ourselves. Oh, I see a whole lot of good handwriting. Alright, are we ready to keep going? Now, listen. I'm going to zoom this out just a little bit. I'm going to move that up. Huh? You can add a period. The one opened the box and took the dress. Lost it. Okay. How did Irene respond to the problem? How did Irene respond? Do we know? Do we remember?
She said, no.
Even though she lost the dress, what does she do?
She goes and gets it.
Well, she does end up finding it in the end. Oh, voices.
She tries to find it.
Jeanette.
She has an idea because she put that little box on the snow and then she started to ride on the box.
Yeah, that's one of the responses to her problem. Because, you know, she twisted her ankle, so she slid down on her box on the snow. Lily, what was another response to the problem? Yeah, that would be one of the resolutions, right? Rakaya, what was one of the responses to the problem? Yeah. Yeah, that was when she was fighting with the wind, when the wind was trying to take her dress. Kason? No, Wesley, you twisted her chair.
He fell in the hole and twisted her leg.
Yeah, but what happened after that? Even though she fell down and lost the dress and hurt herself, what happened? Ellie,
She blamed it on the wind.
she did blame it on the wind. But here, Wesley, how about this? Even though she hurt herself and lost the dress, she decided to keep going. Yeah, see, right here on this page, it says after she twisted her ankle, it said she plowed on, dragging furrows with her sore foot. So she kept going. She plowed on. She kept going. So, down here, for responses to the problem, we're going to write, she kept going. What? We're writing, she kept going.
How she respond to the problem.
That's how she responded to the problem. Even though she lost the dress and she hurt her ankle, she just decided to keep going. She thought, well, maybe if she explained to the Duchess what happened, the Duchess wouldn't be mad. She kept going through. Listen. She kept going. Get your eraser and you can erase it. Alright. I'm going to flip it over now, okay? Fernando and Raphael, don't worry about that. We're going to finish it here in a minute, okay?
It's the resolution.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the resolution. How did the problem get solved? That's okay, we can finish it later. Cohen, how did the problem get solved?
She found the dress and she gave it to the Duchess.
Yeah, she found the dress and she gave it to the Duchess.
I saw it.
So she was able to deliver the dress to the Duchess, right? What does she do after she delivers the dress to the Duchess?
I know it.
Here, let me. So see here, let me zoom out real quick. We see here that she found the dress and she goes ahead and delivers it to the Duchess. And then what happens?
I know.
What is this a picture of? Ellie, what is this a picture of?
One of the ladies are wearing the Duchess dress.
Yeah, well, the Duchess is wearing the dress. Irene attends the ball that the dress was made for. A ball is like a big dance for fancy people. We could have a ball if we wanted to. It's a big dance, right? So Irene delivers the dress. She's able to attend the ball, but she can't go home. Not yet. So instead of going home, she ends up staying there for the night and goes home the next day after the doctor checks her out. So, what we can write, oh, let me zoom in so you can see that. We can write, she delivers the dress.
You want that's right.
We can go. goes to the ball. She delivers the dress, goes to the ball. And we can put she goes home the next day.
Well, why do I put
Goes
it?
home next day. She delivers the dress, goes to the ball, and goes home the next day. And that's how all of her problems got solved. Yes, sir. We're gonna put that in our lunchbox once we get finished. Yeah, that's where it's gonna go. I'm done. And once we get finished, we are going to turn and we are going to act out our story with our partner. Or we're going to retell the story with our partner. We're not going to necessarily act it out, but we're going to retell the story to our partner.
Don't make yourself gay.
So when you're finished, set your pencil down on your table so that way I know you're done. We're not playing with our pencil. It's going to be set down on our table so that way I know you're done. Raphael, are you finished? You finished writing? If you're finished, if you're done, you need to set your pencil down on your table so that way I know. Macy, not yet, girlfriend. Here in just a few minutes. And I'm waiting on just a few students to finish up. Alright, so now I see that most everybody is done. I want Trevor, you're going to come up here and be my partner. We're going to show how, it's okay Aspen, it's still up there. But I'm going to show you guys how I want you to retell the story to your partner, okay? So Trevor, the characters that were in our story was Irene, her mom, Miss Robbins, and the Duchess, right? Well, the story starts out that Irene is at home and Miss Bobbins is making her dress. Well, Miss Bobbins can't deliver the dress to the Duchess. That's where the dress is going to the Duchess. But she can't deliver the dress to the Duchess. So she has Irene deliver it to her. Irene ends up falling and twisting her ankle and she ends up losing the dress because the wind decides to take it out of the box and the wind takes it away and loses it. But Irene decides to keep going. And even though she doesn't have the dress, she still goes to the palace. Well, right before she got to the palace, she found the dress. And so she was able to deliver the dress to the Duchess. And guess what? She gets to go to the ball with the Duchess. But she can't go home until the next day. So they bring her home the next day. And that's how the story ends. Okay? Like that. So I want you to turn with your partner and I want you to retell the story. And use your story map So this can go in your mailbox, and we're going to get ready for lunch. I heard some very good retellings of the story. You'll do a really good job.
Hey guys, I got one more.
Hey, you won't need your
You
tape.
don't cut it.
Self is what you want.
I'm cutting.
Good job to save me.
Actually, the ones that were out today. Oh, you're done.
Station. When you finish them up, you can enjoy that table from there.
No, it's monster jams. Well, it's on sunshine.
That's when you can catch them.
Me too.